Going on, Jerome's making the rounds, getting downs, comparing the Minnesota Vikings rooster against the competitors in the NFC North division. We already did the greasy, grimy Green Bay Packers a couple days ago. Today, we also did the Chicago Bears. Now we're moving on to the low-energy Detroit Lions. And frankly, the Lions are the team, even though their history. Yeah, I do think they're heading the right direction under general manager Brad Holmes, as well as head coach Dan Campbell. I think they've assembled a lot of talent. Now, if they can just get it right at quarterback, I mean, they could have a stew going for the next couple years and foreseeable future. But as of right now, Jared Goff is still the guy, even though I fully understand the Vikings almost lost the Lions at home last year. They did lose in Detroit, the same Detroit man to the Super Bowl, after Jared Goff, the aforementioned Goff one, marched 75 yards for a touchdown. No big deal. No big deal at all. But, okay, so we're going to go through, and again, we're taking off our Homer cap. Oh, I'm not even wearing a Vikings hat. So we're taking off the Homer hat, and we're going to try and be as objective as possible and break down who wins, who loses in these positional matchups. So first up, the advantage at quarterback, yes, it's still Kirky with Cousins. That's the wrong cut and paste. There we go. So the Vikings have a notch up in the quarterback department. Even though Jared Goff, he gets a bad rap, he went to the Super Bowl with Sean McVay, and at times last year he wasn't terrible. What can you do? Running back, I do like DeAndre Swift. I think that he's a great dynamic all-around running back, but Dalvin Cook is still that guy. CJ Ham versus Jason Kabinda. Now, I like Kabinda a lot because he's also a linebacker, which is just badass, man, but CJ, no, hands down. Now, Justin friggin' Jefferson lining up against Amon-Ra St. Brown. That's a little tough because Amon-Ra had a phenomenal rookie season. I think that he has a chance to be a future rising young star, but, I mean, he's just running into a buzzsaw in JJ, so no contest there. You have Adam Thielen versus DJ Chark. Yes, Chark had a 1,000-yard season in 2019. Also made a Pro Bowl one time, but Thielen is still Thielen. Yes, and even though Chark got the money, a 1 year, $10 million bucks, doesn't mean that he's necessarily going to be climbing the charts there. So this one's a little tough. So you have Jameson Williams, first-round pick. Would have been a top 10 selection if he didn't tear his ACL in the national title game. Also, I think Alabama beats Georgia, but it's neither here nor there. And KJ is a very solid and capable wide receiver 3, rising. I think that he could be wide receiver 2 eventually. But even though Jameson may not play this year, I'm going to give the edge to Detroit because I think that the ceiling with Jameson is a little bit higher than KJ, even though his floor this season is obviously a lot higher than KJ's floor, that would be. Then you have Irv Smith versus TJ. Yes, Hawkinson is one of the better young up-and-coming tight ends. I think that you could probably say that he's top 5 in the league right now and rising. And then we get to the offensive line. So this is not going to be pretty for the Vikings going forward along the offense. So Taylor Decker versus Christian Darrisaw. I'm going to give the edge to Decker. I do think that Darrisaw has a chance to be that guy, but Decker is already a rock-solid meat and potatoes left tackle. Then at left guard, you got Ezra Cleveland, who is rising, but Jonah Jackson, who I loved coming out of Ohio State University, he's perfect scheme fit, but went to Detroit in the third round a couple of years ago, is what it is. But I do give the edge to Jackson. I just think that at this stage of their respective careers, he's just slightly ahead. Garrett Bradbury versus Frank Ragnow, the pride of Chanhassen. Ragnow is probably a top 4 center in the league, got paid rightfully so, getting after things. Again, another NFL player who grew up in Minnesota gets out of state because he went to stupid Arkansas. It is what it is. Then at right guard, you got Chris Reed, who I like a lot, but Big V is that guy. I mean, the Lions paid Big V a lot of dough, and, well, let me think. So Big V did get a lot of money. They kicked him inside the guard. This is kind of close. I mean, Big V has all the potential in the world, but screw it. I'm going to be slightly homer. I think Chris Reed is that dude. Brian O'Neill versus Penei Sewell. This one is interesting because Penei Sewell has a chance to be a generational talent, but he switched sides, and left tackle, right tackle isn't such an easy flip as evidenced by the early part of his rookie season. But he really ironed things out nicely. I think that he is going to be the future left tackle once Decker's contract runs out. But as of right now, I mean, Brian O'Neill is probably a top 3 right tackle in the game. I put him up there with Wirfs as well as, Ramczyk. Yes. So edge Brian O'Neill. But, I mean, that's a nice little run for the lines there in the middle. So we compared 12 positions on offense. Vikings won 7 out of 5. It's a lot closer than you think. Defensively, so Aiden Hutchinson, the number 2 overall pick. I mean, this is a no-brainer. But Aiden Hutchinson, like, they want him to be what Danielle Hunter has been throughout his career. So advantage Danielle, even though he's coming off those injuries, whatever. Diesel Dalvin versus Aleem McNeil. I'm going to go Aleem McNeil, the pride of NC State. I really loved him coming in the draft. I do think that McNeil is quickly establishing himself as a player in this league, so we're going to go that direction. Harrison Phillips versus Michael Brockers. Now, Brockers was solid with the Rams. Also, Brockers, it was hilarious. After the Rams traded Jared Goff, Brockers was like, deuces, and then he got traded to Detroit, too. Slight edge, Harrison Phillips. Armand for Watson versus Levi Onwuzurike, defensive interior player. Now, I really liked Onwuzurike coming in as a bit of a undersized 3-tech defensive tackle coming out of Washington. Had a lightning quick first step. This one's pretty close. It's pretty close. Stylistically, they're not even close to the same player, but I'm going to go with Onwuzurike on this one again. Taking off the homer hat. Charles Harris, the pride of Mizzou versus Zadarius Smith, the pride of Kentucky. I'm going to go with Zadarius. Yeah, pretty easily there. Linebacker-wise, Kendricks versus Anzalone. I'll also give Kendricks the edge in hair. I think Kendricks' hair is better than Anzalone's flowing locks. They should do a Head and Shoulders commercial together. It would be great. Jordan Hicks versus Chris Board. I'm bored to death. Jordan Hicks. Slight edge. Then get into the secondary. So Patrick Peterson versus Jeff Okudah. I mean, Jeff Okudah, top 5 selection, was supposed to be that guy, but really has not panned out so far. But you're balancing that with Patrick Peterson being in the twilight of his career, and it gets pretty close. I mean, I guess I would give slight edge to Okudah just based on potential, but I mean, if we went P squared here, I wouldn't be mad. Dancer versus Amani Onwuzurike. Now, he has had his moments. He didn't play so great in the first Vikings game. He played better in the second, but I'm going to give the edge to Dantzler. Dantzler finished 2021 pretty strong after a rocky start. Andrew Booth Jr. versus Mike Hughes as the third cornerback. Now, Hughes played some decent ball for the Chiefs last season. Obviously, it didn't work out here in Minnesota, former first-round pick, and now we get to see him twice a year. I'm going to give the edge to the rookie. That's it. Then the 2 safeties, Harrison Smith versus Tracy Walker, no contest. And then the battle of the 2 rookie safeties, Lewis Cine, number 32 overall, versus Kirby Joseph, third-round pick coming out of Illinois. Now, I really like Kirby Joseph in the draft. In fact, I mean, the Lions have a sneaky good roster, man. They absolutely do. Respect. But obviously, I'm going Lewis Cine in this spot. And then Greg Joseph versus former Vikings legend Riley Patterson. Advantage. Greg Joseph, I mean, he won the battle in the first place. What can you do? Then Jordan Berry versus Jack Fox. I mean, Jack Fox, Pro Bowler, whatever. And then you have Andrew DePaulo versus Scott Daly. Now, he may be related to John Daly. I mean, there's no way to rule that out. So I'm going to go advantage Scott Daly in that spot. So, I mean, I guess the Lions win the specialists, but defensively, the Vikings recovered nicely. They won 11 out of the, not 11, really good at math, 9 out of the 12 spots. Only Asian who's bad at math. They won 9 out of the 12 spots on defense. Detroit was able to hold on to 5 of the 12 spots on offense, including 3 of the offensive line, and also Big V. But that's it. That's taking a look at the Vikings versus Lions roster. Where do you agree? Where do you disagree on our rankings? Who has the advantage? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skull Production Value.